for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will fill the echo of our turning. With every voice, with every song, oh, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let us sing this song for the healing of the world, that we may heal as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing. With every voice, with every song, oh, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing. Let us sing this song for the praying of the world, that we may pray as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will fill the echo of our praying. With every voice, with every song, oh, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our praying, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It is so lovely to see you all here tonight. For those of you whom I have not yet had a chance to meet personally, or for those of you online, also I guess whom I've not yet met personally, I'm Rabbi Ari John, and it's lovely to be here with you. We've got a lovely, healing, prayerful service tonight that we'll join in together. Actually, Drew, I'm going to pull you back one slide, or two slides, because I do want to answer a question that some of you have asked, which is Bo, that's the Torah portion for the week. So for those of you wondering who we're yelling boo at, which was another interpretation, it is Bo this evening and tomorrow. But let us move on to some good news. We're going to try something a little different. Hopefully the first piece of good news for this week is that this microphone will work. It is working. All right, so we're going to pass this around. Good news, this microphone works. Anyone on this side have some good news they'd like to share?
All right, well, we're glad. I'm Dave Lassie, if no one knows who I am. This is my wife, Celia, and this is our good friends, Gary and Barb Blinky. Barb and Celia were nursing students back in 1970. And then that was before Barb and Gary even got married, and then they got married, and Gary was at Ohio State, and we used to go up in the 70s and visit them in Columbus all the time. So they're here visiting us, and then we're off to Cancun tomorrow together. So,
that is all good news.
That's all my good news. Thank you.
Anyone else on this side? That's where we're going to try it on one side, then I will shift it over to the other.
Good news.
We hope it's good news. Tom and Lois Ruby, we spent 30 years in Wichita, Kansas. And the terrible event at the Capitol really shocked us. And the first thing we did was call our rabbi in Wichita, and he told us that, to his knowledge, no one from the Jewish community was aboard that plane. And that's good news. But the other part of all this is that we had many friends there, and we had many people from our community, and I had patients there too, and we don't know about them. So I would say, if you can pray that everyone that at both ends, those that were receiving patients and those that were sending them, that everyone is okay. But our hearts go out to those that have been lost. And so it's not what I call the best news. We hope that it is not ever anything more like that. Thank you.
Anyone else on this side? Good news.
I just got a big promotion at work. It's very exciting.
Mazel tov.
Been angling at that for a while, and now the number next to my job position has increased by 1. So.
May all of our numbers continue to increase. Anyone else on this side? Thank you, Elise.
It's Robin. It's really not my good news, but Fred happens to be in Las Vegas with his brothers, having a brothers weekend celebrating the 100th birthday of his mother, should she be alive, a blessed memory. So they are celebrating in Vegas because my mother-in-law loves to play the slots. Nobody else does, but my mother-in-law did. At penny slots, it doesn't really matter much. You don't lose a lot, you don't gain a lot, but she'd love to do it.
Well, we'll find out if it's really good news when they get home.
I had a second interview at Good Samaritan this week. So
mazel
hopefully
tov.
I'll get a day shift job soon.
My good news is I have a 55-year-old nephew who's experiencing some kind of religious something or other, traveling through India for 3 weeks. And after 10 days, he finally sent an email saying that he was alive and surviving without telling us where he was. But anyway, at least he was alive.
One takes what they can get. That's
He's
good
got
news.
2 more weeks to go.
Anyone up here? Any good news? All right. Up here. Did you have something? No. Okay. So let's continue on with our candle lighting. I think, Honora, you are lighting again this week.
Hopefully this week I don't mess up again.
It wasn't you as the matches. They were trick matches.
They are trick matches. They have a vendetta.
Good news.
Good news. All right. Come on, you can do it.
The wig is gone.
Yeah, I know.
It's a wicked wig.
Okay. All right.
It's set going out.
Of course it is. All right, there we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'smotav v'tzivanu lahadik nershel Shabbat.
Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who has made us holy with divine commandments and commanded us to light the Shabbat lights. Thank you. Yeah, you watch that one for us. And we sing together.
ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Continue now, beginning the Kabbalat Shabbat portion of our service with Lecha Dodi. And of course, we rise together as we reach our final stanza and we turn toward the door.
La 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Lekrat Kela. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Lekra Vela. Shamor v'zakor b'dibor ehad. Ishmiyanu el hamyuchad. Adonai ehad u'shmo ehad. L'shem u'tireret v'lidilah. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 Lekrat Kela. La 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Lekra Vela. Lekrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelecha. Ki lekor Avel bracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 Lekrat Kala. Ya la 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 B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Lekra Vela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech, Kumi ori, Uri, Shir daberi, Kevod Adonai, Alayich nigla. Ya la la Lecha Dodi. Ya la la Lekrat Kala. Ya la la B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Lekra Vela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha uv'tohona. Toch emuneh am segula. Boi kala. Ya la la Lecha Dodi. Ya la la Lekrat Kala. Ya la la B'nai Shabbat. B'nai Shabbat Lekra Vela.
We can remain standing as we continue with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, u'v'izmahan kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadahar v'yitale v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, dahamiran behalma, Vimeru, amen. We continue now with our call to worship, our Baruch Hu. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Please be seated. As we continue reading together English for our Ma'ariv Aravim. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch Ata Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Continue now with Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael. few moments now for the watchword of our faith, the Shema. Shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God. Continue together with the English preceding our Micha Mocha. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. we turn now to our Hashkivenu, our prayer for safety for the night.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. V'ha'amidenu shamrenu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning light. Teach us, God, wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם. ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש.
In just a moment, we will rise together for our Amidah, the central prayer of our service. We'll sing some of the words. I don't know if y'all know this tune yet. If you don't yet, you will soon. Incorporating some of the beautiful theology of Abraham, Joshua, Heschel. And we'll rise together when we hit those Hebrew words, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach.
God has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world. Scattered ring a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Adonai Sfatai Tifiach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi
avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, Vezocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav L'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Chalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekaye Memunato Lishenei Yahafar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Uminto Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman Nata L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, Ukdoshim Uchasela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We may take our seats. Continue now with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, ישלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. We arrive now at our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. This week, our community prays for healing for Lauren Beltz, Deborah Birch, Ovadia Booker, Sheila Boniface, Anita Call, the Cuomo family, Ben Zucker and Rana Zucker, Beverly Curry, Zoe Gertie, Bob Grossman and Jonathan Grossman, Jennifer Hall, Richard Hassel Bennett, Elaine Heightfield, Mary Hennigan, Sylvie and Jack Hooker, Jim Hochberg, Marty Ingram, Pele Yankovic, Gail Johnson, Jubilee Jones, Lenny Kleiner, Janet Kravitz, Skylar Kunz, James Layden, Joanne Lieb, Barbara Bernstein-Litvak, Zelig Gershon Ben Chanoch Leib HaKohen, Grayson Malkin, Eva Menici, Vincent Menici, Mark and Angie Martin, Ginny Meyer, Eleanor Meshkow, Marcy Mullender, Eileen Ness, Leslie Lisnek-Pate, Leslie Payne, Deb Pelletier, Yehudit Bas Reisel, Seisel Ben Reisel, Merrill Rao, Phil Ryan, Evelyn Roos, David Rosenberg, Michael Shear, Lauren Sherman, Lewis Simon, Barry Simon, Sarah Singerman, Jason Snyder, Charlie Spector, Micaiah Stoneman, Ariel Strauss, Jim Tanner, and Lauren Yaffe. If you have a name that you would like to add to that list for us to pray for healing of mind, body, or spirit, I invite you to say their name as my hand passes over you. Continue with our Misha Berach.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, vekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a moment now for our own private, silent reflections. the way that we do or don't share our stories, good and bad, says a lot about us. I've been reflecting on this deeply since Monday, which was International Holocaust Commemoration Day. Remembrance Day. That day, my social media, maybe yours too, was clogged up with posts about the commemoration. Some good takes, some bad takes. Mostly there were things that really did make me think. Here's one prominent argument I saw amongst my digital friends. People use the Holocaust too much, they said, to teach about the pitfalls of humanity. How we can so easily go astray in these pitfalls, becoming banal in our evil, to borrow some language from Hannah Arendt. Or, to take a concept from Dara Horn, the author of People Love Dead Jews, there is a distinct tendency to generically moralize about the Holocaust. There's a common desire amongst folks to turn this particular calamity into a universal lesson, as though the Shoah's victims didn't come from a particular group, i.e. Jews. It was in that vein, this same line of thought, that Elie Wiesel lamented during the dedication of Yad Vashem about 20 years ago, next month. There's a tendency to say, he said, the Holocaust was about man's inhumanity to man. No, it was about man's inhumanity to Jews. My social media feed this week also had another line of thought. People urging that we share the Shoah more. The people pleading for this, in essence, were suggesting that if Jews could just do a better job of helping others learn more about the Holocaust and helping to moralize it, universalize it, help other folks see themselves in it, that this would benefit the world and overall thereby help Jews too. This is from a lesson on the Holocaust meant for a general audience. The line of thinking goes, sharing the Holocaust in that way would help rebuff anti-Semitism amongst many other things. It could help to inoculate folks against hates the world has now, and those we don't even yet are coming our way. People saying this sort of thing really don't care whether or not non-Jews are entitled to use the Jewish tragedy par excellence to understand themselves. People who say this care about the results. As with most things in life, as with what Aristotle would argue of virtue, the best path is the means between the two extremes. We need balance in managing these competing perspectives. And our Torah portion this week, though, gives us hints toward a path that does precisely that. When the Israelites went to leave Egypt according to the Torah, Erev Rav Allah Itam. A great multitude of peoples also went out with them. In the quintessential moment of Jewish liberation, we didn't, according to the Torah, restrict freedom only to ourselves. We didn't say this is a time for Jewish liberation, see y'all later. Instead, we brought others out of Egypt with us. Erev Rav Allah Itam, with them. What does that mean? That means that others were suffering in Egypt too. That means that in that great historical moment of permeable borders, of escape to safety, we didn't go alone. That means, according to some commentators, that we Jews even welcomed Egyptians too, who sought freedom. This is the philosophy of Judaism. We are a particular people, but we exist as part of the universal. The story goes, in a small village nestled between a Jewish shtetl and a non-Jewish neighboring town of farmers and merchants, the two communities lived side by side, but rarely interacted. The Jews stayed amongst themselves, and the non-Jews saw them as outsiders. For years, there was little trust between the two groups. The Jewish community ran their businesses and studied Torah, while their neighbors tilled the land and sold their harvests. Each group believed they had nothing in common with the other. One harsh winter, a terrible fire broke out in the Jewish part of town. The synagogue, the bakery, several homes, all were destroyed. And with little food and no place to pray, the Jewish community feared that they would not survive the cold season. The Jewish leaders gathered to discuss a solution. We cannot rebuild on our own, the rabbi said, but who would help us? And just as they spoke, this is a folktale, of course, so just as they spoke, a knock came at the door. It was a farmer from the neighboring town. He had heard about the fire and brought with him a wagon filled with wood, flour, and blankets. At first, the Jewish leaders were suspicious. Why would you help us? They thought. The farmer smiled and said, many years ago when my wife was ill, a Jewish doctor from this town healed her, and I have never forgot that kindness. Slowly, others from the non-Jewish town began to arrive with supplies, milk, vegetables, even bricks to help in the rebuilding. Though they had never spoken much before, the crisis had brought the two communities together. The Jews invited their neighbors to a Shabbat meal, and for the first time, they shared food, and for the first time, they shared stories, and they shared laughter. As the winter passed and the town rebuilt, the two communities no longer saw each other as strangers. The Jews began buying produce from the farmers, and the farmers sought out Jewish merchants for trade. They realized that despite their many differences, though they had always lived alongside each other, it took hardship to bring them together. And so the story goes, from that day on, whenever there was a festival or a difficult time, the two communities would help one another, proving that sometimes, as I think we all know, alliances are waiting to be found in the places we least expect. Lovely. Of course, all a folktale. But here's the thing. During our real journeys as a Jewish people through the diaspora, we have become quite well practiced at making friends wherever we go. We have a record of partnering at times of crisis and liberation throughout our history. In the American story, the almost cliche example of this has become early Jewish advocacy within the civil rights movement. American Jews supported groups like the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and American Jews were instrumental in efforts like the Freedom Riots. Equally famous are Jewish leaders like Abraham Joshua Heschel, who was close to and marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, we don't need to rest on these laurels, because the civil rights movement was hardly the only or the first time when Jews developed such close alliances in our history. Even before that, American Jews played an outsized role in America's labor movement, collaborating with other impoverished immigrant groups, organizing strikes and forming unions, achieving protections for workers from which we all still benefit today, such as the 40-hour work week. Even when not in the diaspora, we Jews have established close relationships with people different from ourselves. Amongst Israel's strongest defenders, for instance, is the Druze community, an Arab offshoot of Islam, which comprise a major ethnic group in Syria, Lebanon, and in Israel. Many Druze now, today, see their destiny as being tied up with the destiny of the Jewish people and with the destiny of the Jewish state. And this has led to such close ties that 6 Syrian Druze villages, even just recently, pushed to become part of Israel after the fall of the Assad regime. If you didn't see that news, this was striking news, and I'll give you a second just to take that in. So, what does all this mean in relation to our Exodus story or Holocaust remembrance? The key in all these stories is that liberation and response to crisis must involve people coming together. When we rose to their help, others needed our Jewish community's help. And at the times when others have assisted us, we needed them too. Still, there are stories, plenty of them, I haven't shared tonight because they are depressing or disappointing or reflect the reality that we don't always get the help that we need. Like when Jews, for instance, needed to be saved during the Shoah, and far too few came to our rescue until much, much too late. What do we do with stories like that? I would tell you, we share them too. We don't give them away. We can't, because they are our history. But to be frank, if we don't share our history, we are shortchanging those many, many generations of Jews who brought us through it. How do we share the history better? We don't hand it over, offering it for others to appropriate and use as they wish. But to share our story without doing that puts an extra onus on us. It is both a blessing and a responsibility that so many people consider our stories, both happy and sad, resonant. We are the ones who must get out there. We must tell our stories. We must make a compelling case of why they matter. And we must make a compelling case of why it matters to others and to us. Like us, our stories are particular, but they exist within the universal. And that is the essence of the line, which won't be on it came back, good. That's the essence of the line, the great multitude who went out with the Israelites from our Parsha this week. The Exodus was, of course, an exodus of Israelites. Without us, there would be no Exodus. But we brought others along with us, and without the partners and friends, it would not have been quite as rich. It's our duty to see ourselves as a people with a unique story worth telling. And still, in the midst of that, we must never forget that we are part of a beautiful mixed multitude, like strands of music intermingling in song. We form an indivisible combination of people and peoples, our story joining along with that of many, many others, and many, many other stories joining along with our own. When we build friends and allies in that way, we may falter, but hardly can we fail. We return to our liturgy for our closing blessings and rise together for the Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo ratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, Shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something, something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This Shabbat, our community is marking the yard sites of Raymond M. Boniface, Toby S. Fiedler, Robert Goldman, Hannah Grossman, Shirley Hyams, Edward Lurie, Frederick Lutterby, Tim Mathis, Lee Meyer, Ida Neiman, Joel Newberg, Carol Mathis Feaster, Scylla Rothenberg, Bernard Schwartz, Simon Strauss, Kenneth Tuckle, Lawrence Warm, and Roy M. Zola. We also mark the recent passings of Peggy Battistone and Ellen Lank. There's another name for a yard site you'd like to add. Also, say if I've mispronounced the name of a loved one and you'd like to say their name properly aloud, I invite you to do so as my hand passes over you. We rise together for our Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei.